Activation code required. Access granted. Warning. Evacuation sequence activated.
We're back. Welcome to the bunker.
The fucking sun, and welcome to S-4 Bunker, coming to you live here in the Cascade Mountains of Concrete, Washington, where we are talking about washing clothes by hand.
That's my favorite thing. I love that shit.
Oh, so yes, actually, it goes right along in line with tonight's topic of what do you do when the shades a fan?
Well, move away from the fan.
Whoa,
that's disgusting.
What?
Oh.
Friend,
Where are we?
for another segment of Killing Cancel Culture.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
Okay, show us your killing cancel culture for today, Cole.
It actually has to do with today's topic, though.
All right.
Why are some people in favor of global warming? Because they want all the snowflakes to disappear forever.
Fucking snowflakes. Yeah, we're getting snowflakes.
Okay.
Oh.
That one actually wasn't as bad as I expected it to be from you. Like, that was pretty tame. I'm excited. It looks like you've turned a new leaf.
Well, no, hey, hold on.
Wait,
I do have one more, but John kind of needs to be here for it.
Fortunately, we don't have anyone named Karen in the panel here, right?
What?
Snowflakes,
We all know,
Karen.
we all know people that are named Karen, but they're not Karens, the proverbial Karens.
Right?
You know what? I actually know quite a few Karens.
Yeah?
I do too.
And for me, I would have to say Elizabeths and Beths are way worse than Karens.
Oh. Can you imagine?
You know that's the same name, right?
I know.
Can you imagine being in the store and having someone call you a Karen and going, well, actually, that is my fucking name.
So,
I bet Karen does that all the time.
I did have another one, but I kind of needed John here for it.
Oh.
Still gonna tell it, because I would have asked John, do you want to hear a joke about a vagina? And I said, never mind, you're never gonna get it anyways.
Oh, shit. Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. That's
Way
actually
to
pretty
kick off
funny.
the
That's
disaster
actually
show.
pretty
That is kind of a disaster.
John not getting a vagina?
Yeah.
Well, have you met most women? No. Sorry, I can say this. I am a proud woman.
No, you can't.
What?
You cannot say you've met most women.
Well, I mean, not like
That's
half
a
of the
lot of fucking
population.
people.
Like, yeah, that's true.
I can.
You can.
I have met women of every walks of life, almost every walk of life,
Yeah.
and almost every religion. And some are rather interesting to say the least.
Have you met a Rastafarian?
A Rastafarian. That was the wrong accent. Rastafarian. I don't know what the
How about a
fuck.
pastafarian?
A pastafarian. Oh, I actually did meet one of those. It was cool. All right.
Oh, Rasta.
Okay.
All right, so
Disasters.
on Saturday, from noon to 7 p.m., at the Concrete Community Center, we are having our, 4th or 5th annual disaster preparedness fair.
It's like a fair, but for disaster
Third?
preparedness.
We did one before COVID hit.
Yeah,
But
that
then
was.
that's not annual.
I think.
No, I
Well,
don't.
the first one. Okay.
skipped years.
So it did end
We-
up
we
getting
did,
a little
we did.
screwy there because of COVID.
Right.
And because of all the rules about how many people could meet up in one place and the different types
Well,
of stuff
before
that you
COVID,
needed.
we did a real
But we
small-
did do one before, and it was really well received. And then
We did
there were a
one-
couple years we
did one at
couldn't.
the swap meet.
Yeah.
So I kind of count that one. We actually had a fire truck at that one.
And it turned into a disaster.
It did. The wind picked up and took away
that
all the
was,
tents.
That was last year. That was last year. That did turn into a
That was
disaster.
horrible.
Yeah.
And then we did National Night Out in addition to, which I don't think the cops liked, and that's why they didn't show up. But
That's not true.
well, we had one.
We had cops show
one
up.
cop show up, and that was from
We
the
had one
Sox
department show up.
Huh?
One department.
Yeah.
And that was the Soxiato police.
I think what
Traffic police.
what made me laugh the most is when the deputy pulled up and asked what we were doing. National Night
Sheriff's
Out.
deputy.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you don't even know what your own event is. This is like supposed to be for you guys, but okay.
It's nice
And-
to see you here.
Yeah.
Thanks for supporting
And
yourself.
that was actually supported by the health department because we're actually doing a drive-through.
And he wasn't there for National Night Out. It wasn't nice to see him because he was just on his way to Shell to get another fucking piece of
latte.
chicken.
Yeah. And-
Friend.
Yep. And but since then we do have a much better sheriff department, fortunately. So what? So why do we do this? We do this because we live in an environment and always have lived in an environment up here where we have a lot of varying degrees of potential for disaster, whether it's natural, natural disaster or a man-caused disaster. We have both.
Yeah. Well, I mean, being the rural community that we are up here, we don't have the same access to stuff, and we obviously are not as high a priority when it comes to, like, our electricity going out. Different things like this, like even little disasters. Not necessarily huge blown out
We
ones.
don't see them as disasters
but-
because we just respond to them in part.
Right.
And what I would call my command center, I can still run shit because we have a 6K generator in the backyard.
Right.
And it took us a few seasons, but we got it down. We have a master now to where fire generator up. We have plug-in lights.
Right.
Only thing we haven't accomplished is, well, actually we have, because internet goes out anytime the power goes out.
Yeah.
But I run a hotspot on my
Yeah.
phone. And so I maintain internet with my computer. It can still maintain shit. So, yeah, again, this is our fourth year doing this. And I see it as important. In the Army, we have what's called the risk assessment. I don't call it a risk assessment anymore. I call it a threat assessment. So in the Army with risk assessments, anytime you do any kind of operation, whether it's a training, a convoy of vehicles leaving, you have to look at the weather. You have to look at how much sleep have your soldiers gotten, how is your maintenance on your vehicles, how is...
Right, everything from the important down to the very mundane
Right,
details.
and they are on a scale of green, yellow, and red. So if you hit the yellow or red point, because your soldiers only got 2 hours of sleep because this soldier over here that's driving was on 24-hour duty. Well, that's piss poor planning on the higher command's part. But how do you mitigate that threat to take that red down to at least a yellow? Or even a green?
Yeah.
Well, you swap out your TC, your troop commander, with the driver and let him be the TC, and now you've mitigated that risk. Anytime you have a risk of yellow or even red, you have to go to the unit commander to sign off on it. If you're going to accept that risk of what you're doing, usually they'll try to look at the overall assessment and see how he can help mitigate it. So it's really the same way. What I do, so I've done threat assessments anytime I've moved. You don't even want to know the threat assessment at the apartments in Mount Vernon. That was just awful.
Hey.
When you go outside at night and you find yellow tape around your apartment that says crime scene, you know you probably don't live in a good area. And then you look over and you see feet laying behind a car and cops all over the place, and you really know you don't live in a good area. Yeah, it's time to move. So, you know,
Rare thing. This week,
what happened?
guy was traveling southbound I-5, and I believe he was in a stolen vehicle.
Oh, I saw that on the news. Yeah.
Yeah, that was not very far from me. Matter of
wonderful.
fact, I couldn't figure out because I didn't have the news on, I didn't have anything on, and nothing came up on my phone. Usually there's a notification for the area. Nothing popped up. Absolutely nothing. And I was literally just about to open up my sliding glass door to get some fresh air in here into my apartment. And I hear helicopters. Not just one, but two. And I recognize them by the sound. They're police helicopters. I go to look and I'm like, holy... And then I'm hearing, as I'm saying, holy crap, then I'm starting to hear sirens and all sorts of stuff. Well, I go to look on my phone and on King 5 News, which is an app, but it didn't pop up until a few minutes later. But I ended up looking, and sure enough, there was a guy. He was a registered sex offender, and basically crashed the vehicle near a specific location, and he was traveling on foot. That's not very far away from where I live, and I went, you know what? On foot from that area, that's not very far from me. We're not, no. And the interesting thing is that there were kids out on the playground in my apartment area. And as soon as those helicopters start going overhead, man, those parents pulled those kids inside. There's a daycare near me. I mean, you can always hear the kids out on the playground, the little kids. I mean, we're talking like toddlers all the way up to like 7 years old. They're laughing, they're playing, they're yelling, and it got... I mean, my neighborhood was deathly quiet. It was eerie as F. I mean, just really, really eerie. And I went, oh, okay, yep, there's a reason for it.
That's a different one. The car wreck I heard about was two teenagers that carjacked another car and crashed that one. And I think they died. But, yeah.
Yeah, this guy escaped on foot.
Yeah,
and it was a manhunt. I mean, it was a solid manhunt for a long time. I don't think they ever caught him.
No, he's probably a transient anyway.
I've looked to see if they have, but I've never... I haven't.
But you haven't seen the updates on it?
You're in Snohomish County, ain't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have 1,500 unregistered transient pedophiles or sex offenders in your county alone.
I know.
You trust me, I checked.
And not only that, there's quite a lot of homeless in this county, and I know people that go out regularly. Matter of fact, I know a retired police officer, a retired police detective, who created a specific group to go out to feed the homeless. Twice a week, or not twice. I'm not using my words right. Excuse me. Once every 2 weeks, and they have a wide range in Snohomish County that they go out and they feed, and it's it's very, very specific. The county is very specific with them. The businesses are very specific with them, where they can be, where they can park. I mean, it's a whole... this has been going on for many, many years, and I've learned a lot because of what she started, and the group is still going to this day. So,
it's
amazing.
On the topic of the homeless population, we have seen a substantial boom in the homeless
Yes.
population over the
absolutely.
last few years.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Obviously, a lot of that has to do with housing prices,
Yes.
inflation, all that
Well,
jazz.
a lot of them. So
Greed.
COVID screwed a lot of them up because they stopped paying their rent.
And then it was all
The
due in
mortgage,
one balloon payment.
And then all of a sudden it was boom.
Yeah.
All the
You guys gotta quit fucking saying that.
what?
That is the wrong wording on a disaster show. Boom, really?
That was the volcano. But anyway, yeah. So once COVID hit and they kind of froze the requirements of paying rent, and landlords could not kick them out or evict them. Once all these strings and
Yeah.
regulations dropped,
Balloon.
and people still couldn't afford it,
Yeah.
they got evicted. So,
Well, and you know, I
absolutely.
go as far as to say that, like, so back when, well, it's been 15 years now. So, I mean, that's a long time, really, if you think about it. But when me and Cole first got together and we first moved out into, like, our first few apartments and stuff, we were looking at a tenth of the amount that people pay in rent now.
Yeah.
Like, and we were struggling then, and we didn't really make that much less per hour, like, as far as that was concerned, but there is no way, like, I've gone on to, like, Craigslist and different things and looked at the different prices of stuff, and some of these places for, like, a one-bedroom are, like, $2,500 a month. Like,
Yeah,
it's
people can't
ridiculous.
afford that.
Okay.
Two
Well,
Not
bedrooms
exactly being
in
fair there.
Two
What?
bedrooms in Linwood. A two-bedroom apartment ranges from $1,500 to $2,400 a month.
Right.
Two-bedroom, and you're looking at under
It's like an
Slightly
800
under-
square foot or whatever, yeah.
slightly under 900 square feet,
Right.
on up to 920 square feet.
What, Cole?
You're not exactly being fair there. Our first couple apartments, I had a skilled trade job.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying though. Is even though we were making the same amount, if not more money than we're making now, our cost of living was so much cheaper at that point. I don't know how people do it now.
But what I had
Yeah.
for a job then is
Yeah.
now pays $70 an hour.
Oh, for sure. And so there are certain jobs that have gone up in substantially in the amount that they're paying
And
as
then there
well.
are others that have not at all.
But there are some that have just been like stuck frozen at like
Stagnant.
$16 an hour for the last like 10 years.
And you can't live off
Yeah.
15 an hour.
No, like
No, you can't.
That's not true.
well you can, it's
Okay,
just
you have
very
no kids?
difficult to do.
4 kids, we did it.
Yeah.
When?
For the last...
About
Year?
7
Okay.
months or so, yeah.
You guys own your home. You don't have a mortgage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have a car payment.
Yeah.
Property taxes, though, are through the roof.
You look at the average family, they have a rent or mortgage. Half of them probably at least have a car payment.
But you also got to think of what we've all done in the last year, too. We've paid a rent and mortgage payment, both, probably, in just entertainment alone.
Oh, yeah.
And like we've been able to do things like that's the thing, you can live off of it. That's not the problem. It's getting into those places. That first payment is what kills people.
Because you have to
Once
pay.
they do it, they can pay it.
Right.
Yeah, once you get the first last and your damage deposit, like your monthly isn't as bad, but trying to find a place to move into, come up with that much money down front to be
Right.
able to do that.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
You're forgetting about the fees that they're charging
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
Just to put a hold, you're looking at $150 to $300 for a hold.
Right, and then you have the non-refundable like background check and
Background
the
checks
credit
and-
check
Correct.
and the
Correct.
apartment fees for filling this
And that
out
could
and
be
that out.
$80.
The cleaning
And I mean,
fees.
you can be paying $80, $90 and looking at 10 different apartments. That in itself, there you go. You just spend $1,000 and you have nothing to show
You
for
still
it.
haven't been able to
Yeah.
move because
Yeah.
you're still not approved.
But that's why we
I know
need our
people like
government
that.
facilities to keep up with the wording. For example, DSHS no longer considers someone in a motorhome homeless.
Okay.
But other programs do. Therefore, those people are still receiving services even though they no longer have a rent payment.
Okay.
Now,
So there needs to be wording across the board.
Yes.
For
yes,
federal and state.
honestly,
Absolutely. I'm not saying those people don't need help,
Right.
but at the same time, if
They
you
have a roof over their
purchase a
head.
brand new fucking motorhome, you probably aren't doing that bad.
Right.
right? Seeing as though a brand new motorhome now is like $100,000,
Yeah,
like it's a
much is the
ridiculous amount of money.
It's more than
Although,
that, but
I
yeah.
will
Right.
say there is one guy that
I
I
priced him.
thought was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Not it. He is driving a brand new truck, but he's pulling an actual mobile home behind it and parking in different areas. It's not a trailer; it's an actual. Rick, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
he's here.
What the fuck?
Holy
are you
crap! Rick just showed
Now.
up.
You just don't even say anything,
Yeah, he's been here for a while.
Oh wow!
and you say nothing. What the hell, dude?
You didn't even be like, "Hey guys, what's up?" You're like, "I'm just gonna."
There was
So,
a
anyway.
conversation going on. I haven't had a chance yet.
You're like, I'm just gonna sneak in here with a ha ha.
How are you feeling?
So we
I'm
are
feeling-
actually.
I'm feeling a little better, but I'm on some very nice sinus cold medicine to try to alleviate some of the. So I'm a little bit loopy. So yeah, I'm just
Oh.
back.
So you took that cocaine that Kayla gave you.
Go onto my Facebook page. The very first post that I have, it has in the comment section. There's a long list that I put in regarding the great big C word with the virus and infection stuff. And there's a long list of things. Go in and take a look at the list. See if anything will help.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you, Nikki.
Yeah.
Okay, you know
Cocaine
what
works
is
like
okay? So this has probably absolutely no bearings on anything. But every time I get like super sick, the thing that alleviates me the
Cocaine?
most is
Cocaine.
hot
Cocaine.
orange juice.
Really?
Yes,
You are so full of shit.
watered down hot orange juice. I
Bullshit.
love it. I do.
When? Since when?
Since forever.
When's the
Tastes
last
like
time you
cane.
did that?
Why the hell do you think that I randomly will go like 6 months without buying orange juice and then I'll buy like 5 containers of it?
And I've watched you do that.
Okay?
That's true. I've never seen you heat it up.
Yes, no,
Right out of the fucking
You
carton.
put the orange juice in and then you put water in with it and it makes it hot orange
That's
juice.
pretty hard to
and
do. when
I
you
do
drink it
that.
right out of the carton.
Okay, so sometimes I will do get right out of the carton.
So you warmed up the entire carton?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just
That's
leave
like
it out on the
warmed up
counter sometimes because you know how
That I
that goes.
believe.
Oh,
God, you guys are so dumb. Okay.
okay. Well, Loopy is fun. Loopy is fun, especially when you're doing a show. Not that I've ever done that,
It's only
Kayla.
beer. So now it's just no difference. But I felt fairly miserable and I took a nap and I feel better now. So yeah.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm here.
Excellent.
That's good.
What the hell? Oh, meditating monkey. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I got.
yeah, monkey meditating. So what's up? I thought you were saying something. Okay, so I have like an 8-page threat assessment just East Gadget County, and it's funny because when I was in school, I sent it to my professor, and he was like, "Oh my God, dude, it's a shotgun blast to anybody that looks at it. You don't have any mitigations to it. It's just threats." I'm like, okay. So I threw the mitigations in. It's like, that's better. But yeah. How do you mitigate a volcano? Well,
You run. You run, and you hope that you don't get Pompeyed.
Cork it.
huh?
Cork it.
Well, yeah, I would dump snow into it.
No, you just cork it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Aliens
okay.
will cork it.
Now we're also known for the world's largest cork.
Do you know? I have to say, I would have laughed. Do you know how much worse that would have been to cork Mount St. Helens? I mean, it's like side blue. Okay, so now you cork it, so there's no way for this to escape.
It's gonna
that would have been
blow out.
horrible.
It's going to blow out sideways.
Well, it did.
I'm
But-
just saying.
Oh my god. Okay.
If you think of this in an
I love that,
explosive,
Kayla.
if you think of this in an explosive diarrhea situation, if you
We're
cork
talking
it,
about the
If you cork it,
friend, If it blows out the side, you're fucked anyways. What does it matter?
Okay. Wow. So that's just how we're going to take disasters from now on. If you can't cork it, you're fucked anyways.
Well, hey, honestly, he wrote an 8-page essay on
mitigating disasters?
Yeah. Mine would be easy. Earthquake, you're fucked. Hurricane, you're fucked. Tornado, you're fucked. Flood, you're fucked. Done. Hey, we're good.
Yeah, here's your F.
Really?
Depends on where you live.
I gotta be
People of
perfectly
Haiti
honest.
would probably agree with me for most of them.
In my experience, every disaster, I was like, wow, I'm fucked. Okay? Like,
Right?
I gotta be honest.
I've been through a few hurricanes. Well, actually, see, I wasn't in any hurricane because we left. You're not fucked if you just get smart and get out of town. You can't actually go away.
Well, see,
now the hurricane.
So the closest we've had a hurricane up here, we've had tropical storms that had 60-mile-an-hour gusts and heavy rain, and again they call them tropical storms.
Right.
We don't have hurricanes here.
No.
The closest you'll see is in the Pacific.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. The
You just wait till those
closest you'll
poles
see
switch.
Is when you're tracking hurricanes, you'll see them in the Pacific, going into Mexico or the south side of California.
We actually had a couple of pretty good ones going through there.
Yeah. This year.
Yeah.
This year.
Yep.
Tornadoes, we do get the random tornado. We had a random tornado, 3 years ago in Port Angeles.
Yeah.
That hit Walmart.
Yeah, but like our tornadoes in the Pacific Northwest are nothing like they are in the South, obviously. I mean, we get like little F1s here sometimes, but it's more of like a windstorm than it is like a full-fledged like F5 tornado going through
No,
Doppler.
we don't have Toto. No.
Yeah.
Well, I was working at a TV station in Waco, Texas, and we had a tornado outbreak. It was 98, I think. And it was the one, the Gerald tornado. It just kept it'd go up and come down, and when it came down in Gerald, it was an F5, and it was the hand of God. I mean, it took that whole town and it picked the pavement up. The only thing that was left of any of the houses was the foundation. There wasn't a single standing structure in that town when it was all said and done. They could, all the preparedness and hiding in the bathtub and putting it over your head and all that would not have worked. They were screwed one way or the other.
Right.
And the way to know to get out of town is fast. So, scary is all get out. There's nothing you can do.
See, and that's why, to me, one of the scariest natural disasters is an earthquake. Because there isn't enough warning ahead of time for that.
Yep.
So it's not like when you know a tsunami's coming in and you can see it and you can time like how many minutes it's going to take before it hits. You know, that kind of stuff. Right. There are disasters like your hurricanes or any of that kind of, where you have a leadway of knowledge where you can evacuate, you can get out of the area. And then there are the disasters that just, in the spur of the moment, they happen. And there is no leadway, there is no warning to these things.
Yeah.
Those ones...
Well, power outages.
Right. And I mean, and that's what I'm saying. From the simplest stuff like a power outage to all of a sudden we weren't supposed to flood and now we're living on an island.
Port Orchard.
Okay. I get those two ports fucking mixed up.
Hey, cool.
So a power outage by itself isn't necessarily always catastrophic.
Hello, Robert.
Right.
Now, Robert, you made it.
What the hell, guys? You won't say you're not coming in, and then you show up.
Now, you want to talk disasters? Good to see you. So I'd say the wildfires in Australia about 3 years ago would have been seen as a major disaster.
Oh, yeah.
What? And wait, so you have the wildfire...
Flowing down south. Yep.
Yeah, you had the wildfires in Australia, and then didn't you have like a huge torrent of rain that made all the poisonous spiders run?
Yep, and the snakes and everything else.
Uh-huh.
It's nasty.
Yeah.
Okay, so that Port Orchard one was an F2.
Okay.
That's one of the hardest we've ever been hit. 250 homes damaged, no major injuries or deaths.
Right. So we do get them on occasion, but they are rare.
Yeah.
Washington State averages 2.5 tornadoes annually, but only 0.1 tornadoes in the month of December. The majority of these are rated EF0.
Okay.
Yeah. What I was going to say, the most I've ever heard is 5 in 1 year. Usually it's 1 or 2.
Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Like you guys were talking about an F1 not being that bad.
Mm-hmm.
An F1 can still push a freaking fence board through a wall
Yes.
by almost 3 feet.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
dartboard.
Friend, yeah, it turns everything into
Bicycle.
a dartboard.
Right.
Bicycles through trees.
Friend, tornadoes should not be messed with.
No. So
Stay the fuck out of the underpasses, dumbasses.
Yeah. Or go for a flight. Your choice.
That's why I've often said that they should build tunnels underneath in the tornado zones that can habitate the long load tractor trailers, semi-trailers, and make them deep enough that they're not going to be affected by the winds, and some sort of extraction units for the water that floods in, so it'd be dry as well.
It still wouldn't work. Because no matter how long that tunnel is, for about 30 to 60 feet in, you'd end up with vacuum lock, which would just pull everything back out. Friend, where was it? Manitoba, I think? Over in Manitoba, Canada, did try something like that. Friend, and it just sucks you right back out. Like, it did nothing for them.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Right? Friend.
As long as you're 70 feet in, you're okay. Yeah. You better run really fucking fast.
If they have the ends, like something that can seal up after the trucks and cars have got in there,
well,
maybe they wouldn't be fucked up.
Fuck the truck. Just get out, stand or get into a ditch and lay down. That's all you got to do.
Yeah. It'll go right over you.
Yeah.
So on volcanoes, and we'll talk a little bit more about volcanoes here in a second.
That's
but
a bad place to stand.
It is. Absolutely.
We don't stand on volcanoes anymore.
No.
Unless we're sacrificing a virgin.
Right. So, I think it was a week ago, they were talking about Mount Baker, Mount St. Helens, and Mount Rainier having seismic activity. And that by itself is normally a little bit concerning, considering what Mount Baker's in our backyard, along with Glacier Peak. Now, Glacier Peak is the one that not many people know about or even talk about because, well, it's yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Glacier Peak, the hidden gem of Washington.
Yep. But they came out and said the seismic activity was caused by the cracking of the glaciers. That's not good either.
Why?
Cracking of the glaciers.
Well, if you're named the Titanic, it's probably not good, but fuck everyone else.
Yeah. So Saturday we actually have the USGS coming out, and they will be giving a presentation at 1 and at 4 on Glacier Peak and Mount Baker specifically. So, but
Did you see Martha Stewart got in trouble?
No.
Because she went up to a glacier in the north, broke a chunk off, and used it for her drinks. So they're trying to cancel her now?
Oh, well.
Apparently that's going to cause global warming. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Red. I'm cool with it being her fault.
Yeah, we have to have somebody to fucking blame.
Blame somebody.
Right?
Blame her.
So, in looking at threat assessments, I do have Glacier Peak and Mount Baker. Lahars are possible anytime without interruption. It just really depends on how warm. Because really all a lahar is a mud flow or a snow melt, and so that can cause a lahar. Historically speaking,
Sorry.
Mount Baker lahars have always gone towards Bellingham. Historically, doesn't mean it couldn't change and come our way. But historically, Mount Baker has gone towards Bellingham. Glacier Peak, however, comes down into Darrington, wipes out Darrington, and then comes down the
Jesus Christ.
and then comes down the Sauk River Valley into the Skagit River Valley, and well, that's where our lahar is going to come from.
So we're getting laid hard by Darrington.
Yeah.
I got you.
Glacier Peak has always been a more violent eruption as well.
What the fuck is a Deliton?
I don't know. My brain don't worky.
And then, of course, we have Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, Mount Adams.
Okay, so
That's not true.
just wondering,
We
but
don't
like,
have those.
obviously, if it's just a mudslide or a mud flow, it's going to be like wherever the area of impact is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
However, if Mount Baker did decide to go kaboom one day, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be everything. It's not just going to be like the Bellingham area.
No,
Like,
Oh, no. I'm talking about lahars.
oh,
What the
okay.
fuck?
blast.
We won't have an issue. Yellowstone will.
What?
See, that's the thing
We're
about.
just moving over 2 states.
Okay, so if we just went around and we put a big ass wine cork in every single one of these, right? Then the entire Earth would blow up. There would be so much pressure down below that it would just be like,
We'd be fine. We'd just spin faster.
because that wouldn't really screw us up either. Okay.
Some of us can handle that, kid.
Yeah.
I get the spins on the teacup ride, and I don't want my entire world to be like that, okay?
Hands on the teacup.
Yes. Now that's what I'm saying.
Go on a roller coaster instead. Upside downs and the whirly whirls and the wee-hoo-hoo-hoos.
Oh, we could. You just would not like the after effects of that. Because you'd be totally screaming for a different reason, and it would be me puking all over you. Like,
These would be the 2 people that would go on the slingshot,
You'd be
Right.
mentioning the Greek god.
and both cables would let go.
My dad was in his 50s when he took me on a caged thing that literally the zipper, I think is what it was called.
Oh,
It
God, I
spun
hate those
around,
things.
and then it went up. Yeah.
So I think at the Skagit County Fair, it was the zipper that was broke.
yeah, there wasn't one this year.
Oh
Was
my
there a zipper
God,
there?
I always loved the zipper.
It's okay. Its mom came and fixed it.
You know,
No, so it was one of those rides that goes around and out, and so we hear this ting, 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 and we see this little guy up on top of this thing with a hammer, banging on the ride, and then he dropped the hammer and almost hit his buddy, and his buddy got the hammer and handed it back to him, and yeah, we told our kids, well, you're not going on that ride. No.
right?
Yeah.
The only person I ever want to see hitting anything with a hammer is Thor.
Wait, did you really just say that you went to the fair and there was 2 guys banging on a ride?
Uh-huh. I did.
That's a different kind of fair than I've ever been to.
It's okay, Cole, because they dropped the hammer.
Yeah, that wasn't the right.
It's a small world.
Any of the dark rides, you know.
Oh, good God. So,
Don't bring him into this.
no. So I'm gonna switch gears here for a second.
That's what he said.
Fuck off. Who's gonna be at the disaster fair? Medical Reserve Corps. So if you're familiar with the CERT team from Emergency Management, it's the Community Emergency Response Team. These guys get trained by Emergency Management. It's about a 2-month training. And they are your basic responders after a disaster before the first responders can appear. You got trees down, you got so much damage that your fire departments and EMS can't get to you. These are your basic responders that they'll put out. Basically, if there's a fire, they can put out a fire the size of a wastebasket.
Sorry.
And they will do basic medical triage until the emergency management, until EMS can get there. Now, the MRC has a very similar team, the Medical Reserve Corps, but they work for the Public Health Department, and they do more of your biological hazards. They do more of your health issues. So, like the smoke we had in the air, the heat waves we had, they'll get AC units out to
the
people.
Disease-spreading monkeys.
Huh?
The disease-spreading monkeys.
Yeah, monkeypox. That was monkeypox.
Motherfuckers.
That's not fun either. But they deal more with, I guess, terrorist response when it comes to the biological and chemical side.
Do they do like after cleanup? Like, is that their domain?
They do, and they also, so like if there is a disaster, like an airplane crash, something like that, they will set up a family resource center.
Okay.
And help on that side of it.
Oh, that's cool.
They show up on Saturday. At their table, they just got this pile of white powder. They're like, anthrax, have a sniff.
yeah, that would be fun.
You gotta smell it to know what it's like. Like,
you only smell it once.
That's what the cops in Drumheller did with marijuana, because parents asked for a demonstration to know what their kids are bringing home.
Okay.
So they went into the school library, lit up a joint, and said, "This is what it smells like."
Okay. Did they pass the joint around to the kids and let them try it and say this is what it feels like too?
No. But, so in my hometown, they did. So when they got rid of it, like anything they confiscated,
right?
They burned it in their crematorium, which is right in the center of downtown.
Oh, so everybody got high.
Oh yeah, like it was perfect. There's a lot of hammering going on in the chat.
I see that. I see that. Cool rock. So also emergency management and public health will be there to pass out information.
Disaster preparedness for that.
USGS is going to be there to talk about volcanoes. That is, so we have the volcanologists that will be there that are talking Mount Baker and Glacier Peak. We have Puget Sound Energy. They talk about energy programs and what happens if the dams break. I mean, they only have 2, so they can't talk about Seattle City Lights dams, but if their dams break, it's going to hit us a lot more significant and immediate, rather, than if the ones upriver do. Well,
right.
That's Lake Shannon and Baker Lake.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're fucked no matter which one goes.
Oh, no, absolutely. But it's going to be, 30 seconds to 5 minutes with this one versus maybe 10 or 15 if the 3 upriver go.
We'll be swimming against the fishes.
Yeah, we will. Oh, my God, the salmon we could get, though?
No, because they're swimming upriver. We're going down.
You grab them as you go. So KSVU is going to be there. That's so KSVU is 90.1 FM. It's our local radio station here upriver, and they will be there and interviewing people, and along with Skagit Valley Herald and Concrete Herald. But Irma has always been a very big advocate from KSVU of this show. In fact, S-4 Paranormal Radio was actually aired on KSVU.
But now we say fuck a lot, so we
Now
can't.
we say fuck a lot. So now we she wanted us.
Yeah, she still wants it.
She still
but I
wanted
said
it,
no.
but we said no. We're not going to stop saying fuck a lot.
Well, no, it's not that. She was going to edit it, and I said, you're going to get 15 minutes of show.
Right? Right? We're not going to change fuck. Yeah, no, that's just not going to happen. It just makes it a funner show when you can say fuck a lot.
True.
It does.
No fucking way.
So we have the Humane Society coming. The Humane Society has a very good pet preparedness program. So they will be at the disaster fair to push out information on what kind of stuff do you need to have ready if you have to grab your shit and go. And you got, I don't know, 10 dogs? Well, if you got 10 dogs, you got bigger issues. But if you have a dog and a cat, or a couple dogs, yeah, you have to have a kill for each of them. You have to have your collar and your leash and extra food and medications you might need, toys.
Same things you need for your kids.
Yep, pretty much, minus the diapers, but diapers in some cases too.
Yeah.
So Humane Society is going to be there. Kyle Wagner is going to be there with her hawk. So we actually have our own raptor person that's going to be there with one of her partners.
She probably wants to smack you right now.
What?
She probably wants to smack
Nah.
you right now.
Not
Because
really.
you called it a hawk.
It is a hawk.
No, it's a raptor.
It's a bird of prey.
It's a.
Bingo.
I think it's a
Not
cougar
a
hawk.
raptor. Raptors walk on legs.
Oh well, these do too,
So
but
do
they
other
fly.
ones that fly. Just
what?
What?
You're dealing with a pro.
so, Rick, do you think that they just fucking fall to the ground and just lay there?
Right?
Only Draper
no legs.
Chicken does that. Oh,
So anyway, she's going to push out information on raptors, on predatory birds. And I didn't realize, but anytime she goes to an event like this, she's required by law to actually educate about raptors.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that I knew.
So yeah, she's going to be educating on. She's going to have her bird there, and she's going to be pushing out animal preparedness as well.
Although she doesn't have the number one predator, but
No, that's Delta and Alpha.
nope.
Yeah.
Canada goose.
Canadian geese are
Oh.
scary, man.
Really?
Yeah. Friend. Have you ever actually seen a real fight between an eagle?
Could shit up the tailpipe, be able to block any cars going anywhere. Those things up long.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Have you ever actually seen a fight between an eagle and a Canada goose?
No.
It's crazy.
Seriously?
The eagle comes out with like half of its feathers gone.
God damn.
Yeah.
I've seen an eagle go after a hawk and a. Oh God, hang on a minute. A hawk, a pigeon, and a. God, sorry, I got a brain fart. I can't. That's another bird, and I can't think of the third bird. I was in Stanwood at the time, or an area around Stanwood is how I should clarify that. And it all happened within the same day.
That's where Kayla kills swans.
I didn't kill him. The electric pole killed him, and I didn't know you had to call like the swan line, and it was this whole big deal, and I almost got arrested. But whatever.
Hey, are those boat people coming back?
Who? No.
Fuck.
Yes.
I
No.
lost my chance to grab their boat this time. They got mad at me last year because I tried to take it.
Oh, the boat?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just tried to drag it away.
No.
Apparently that's not allowed.
No.
No, it's not. Because if you did bring a boat home, I'd be like, no! Why? What are we going to do with
What are
this?
you talking about? If floods again, you might need the damn boat.
Yeah.
We got neighbors for that. I'm just going to make a raft out of them and
Fuel the
float
boat?
down the river.
I had a friend who had a boat, saved he and his dogs.
Yeah.
I can't remember what. It was in town of Carnation, and literally his back door was, I think 30 or 40 feet away from the river. And for 3 years straight, it flooded up to his back door.
Oh, that's fun.
And the last year was the worst, and after that he moved.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm done.
When was that?
The river wants to come in, you're not going to stop it.
2001? Was it 2001 or 2002 that we had the flood here?
That was 03.
What?
Yeah, I've seen the video. It was like 03.
Okay. We had one, I'm sorry, 2021, right?
Because 2001, I wouldn't fucking know.
Sorry.
High school, and I was in Canada.
2000.
I remember the flood in 1990, actually, because I was in Stuttgart, Germany, watching it on CNN, and it flooded the entire valley.
So a couple of years ago, we had a really pretty good flood come through here.
Mm-hmm.
We got trapped in the house, actually,
you guys had to be
for that one, and we ended up having to take a rescue boat out and go stay at my mom's for a while. Yeah, that was interesting.
And that's why we did.
1990.
Huh?
Sorry, I didn't realize my mic had been muted. 90 was a really bad year for winter.
It
Fall
was.
and winter.
Because,
really, really bad.
I mean, the river literally flooded Fur Island. And I believe downtown Mount Vernon. And that's when they got those, they got the Swedish...
fish?
They got them too. But no, the barriers for the downtown area.
Yeah.
Is when they got those.
Yep.
Okay, I got a question.
When I lived in Mount Vernon, we used to have every year it was really bad, really, really bad. In the 80s, and it would flood a specific area every frickin' year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in 80, God, I'm trying to remember, 83, I think. 82, 83, it was so bad, it was at literally at the top. You could not walk along, the authorities were like, you cannot be on the dike, because it doesn't matter if you're 100 pounds, 50 pounds, or even 200-pound person, you could literally create a landslide simply by walking on the top of the dike. And the river was... It was supposedly it was supposed to crest that night, and it didn't. And it went literally to the edge of the dike where I lived. And let me tell you, that meant that the town of Mount Vernon itself, on both sides, was completely flooded. I'd never seen anything like it.
So if you walk
it was really bad.
If you walk on the dike, you're watching for bubbles, if I remember right.
Yes.
And if there's bubbles that pop up
through the soil.
You have to mark it, and they have to come and reinforce it.
Yep.
Because it's a weak point. I had to take a class on that from Public Works on how to identify soft spots in the dike, which I'm really glad this summer the Army Corps of Engineers actually came in and reinforced all the dikes. They rebuilt them.
Mm-hmm. What were you saying, Cole?
What makes the barriers Swedish?
They came from Sweden.
What?
They were barriers that were actually developed.
I would like proof of that.
Huh?
I would like proof of that.
Ask the mayor about Vernon.
On the barrier.
Huh?
I want to see the flag on the barrier. Have you seen their new ones though?
Huh?
The new barriers they got?
The plastic? Which one? Which one are you talking about?
1/2-inch steel reinforced. All throughout downtown Mount Vernon, they are set up within 4 hours.
Yeah.
Is that something new?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is new.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense because, well, downtown Mount Vernon is sinking anyway.
But it starts at where the dike ends.
Yeah.
And then goes all the way through the town of Mount Vernon, so only the houses on the end get fucked up.
That's where the poor people live.
Yeah. No, like it actually is a really good system.
Okay.
it's about 1.5 miles long, and they're just reinforced pieces of steel that go against each other, and they're like 8 feet high.
No, it is pretty cool looking.
And they do seal it shut because it hit them at that last flood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when we were sandbagging businesses on what we used to call the platform. It's where the parking lot is now,
Yeah.
or it's always been. But we'd all the businesses along that area in downtown Mount Vernon, you'd sandbag those, and people on the other side, on the technically the west side, west side of the bridge. They had people on the west side, but on the north side of that section, there were mobile homes in there. They were always flooded every freaking year.
Yeah, they moved the trailer park out.
Yeah, that's just what I was going to say. It was nice when I was back there earlier this year to see that all of that has become a park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's about freaking time.
They tore all the houses down there and moved that trailer park away.
Yeah, they moved a lot of people from the lower limits of Lyman, too.
They moved the entire town over to
up to the top.
The north side of Highway 20. And
it gets to be quite a cost for insurance companies and a hell of a nightmare for the people who are going through it.
Right, and they actually have a good system. So as soon as the river crests to a phase 1, which is the alert phase, and that's usually at 24 feet, they will sound the fire siren one time, and that simply notifies the community that, hey, get your shit ready. If it goes up much higher, then you
got to go. Yeah.
So that's a good system. I think it's a system that they need to have all upriver.
Well, I think a little bit of education to people that are moving into those areas that have never lived in a potential floodplain before.
Right.
People need to understand the reason that you shouldn't dig down in certain areas.
Yes.
The reason that you shouldn't flatten out land that hasn't been flattened for 40, 50 years is because that's your barrier there, and that is once you flatten that out to make your garden or to do your upkeep or whatever, you are really screwing your neighbors on the other side.
Yeah. Learned that the hard way. We moved from Seattle to Mount Vernon in fall of 79, and in 1980 was the first disaster flood that I had experienced in Mount Vernon, and we were in a second-story apartment at the time, and the neighbors below us, this was a yearly event for them. They were like, oh, this is nothing new. So all of their furniture, everything they possessed, beds, couches, recliners, everything was up on cinder blocks, 4 cinder blocks high. And then they just go to family elsewhere, and they're like, well, we're taking our stuff, and, that's just how you lived. Yeah. See, they always had cinder blocks in their storage unit.
Like, all the houses that are around us that are in the floodplains area, we're all a good, 6 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
So everything is either blocked up or the foundations are laid to the point where pretty close to everybody is about 6 feet off the ground.
That is so not true.
Yep.
I'd say about half.
Okay, about half.
The other half just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And the other ones will be on the roof asking for help.
Yes.
Not all of them. Some woke up in the middle of it.
That's what our friend in the 90s did, late 90s. I mean, his neighbors started enlarging the foundation underneath their homes.
Yeah.
Because they were like, we're tired of this. We want to stay here. We love the area. We just have to experience this for 3 weeks of a frickin' nightmare. And
yeah.
And that's where they stayed. Unfortunately, because where they were at, there was a dip in their road, and during 2 years during that time frame when it was flooding, it created a rapid, and an excessively treacherous rapid that even firemen, even the first responders were like, we can't do this. It is too dangerous to everybody involved. We can come to this point if you can meet us in this area, or at least try to get to it. I mean, it was
bad. Yeah.
It was really bad. I actually saw video of it, and I was horrified they were able to get anybody out, and they managed to get people out. I was impressed because it was one of the most dangerous situations I'd ever seen.
And okay, so that's the other thing is when you do move into a place, you got to look at not only the crime rate around there or the people that are around there or anything like that, but if it happens to be by a river, okay, you always need to understand that rivers change.
Well, that's
throughout the years, rivers change.
That's pretty fucking insensitive of you.
What?
We started this show by saying how people can't afford to move into a place.
No, I understand that. Okay. No, I'm just saying.
And that's what kills
think
me.
about your surroundings.
You've got all these old timers. So I've been here forever, and it never floods here.
If you're going to buy property next to a river or a water source of any kind, you got to understand that through natural processes and through years, that river's going to change courses.
Oh, yeah.
It's just going to.
Not just that, but they don't. Every once in a while, they come out and they dig up the bottom of the river and get the silt. But every time it floods, you've got more silt and shit in the bottom of the river. So it kills me. We don't need to hear about disaster preparedness because it's never flooded here, or it's never done this here. That hill's never slid before. Well, you know what? The earth is changing all the time. Rivers are changing. No flood year is the same as prior years. And just because it's never flooded there before does not mean it might not flood this year. So pay attention.
That's what I learned living in
and take the courses that you need to take. Okay, so if you're going to live by a major water source, make sure that the people in your house know how to swim. Okay?
That's right.
Like, if you're gonna be somewhere up in the mountains or something like that nature, you need to know that the people in your household know that during these months of the year, you always wear this kind of jackets. You always make sure that you're prepared for the stuff that's happening.
You know how to put on a harness.
Do your kids know what kind of jacket to wear?
I mean, for the weather, yeah.
Why the fuck do you two live here?
You've got a to-go pack ready to go.
Why the fuck do you two live here?
Because
you two are the coldest shits I've ever seen in life. And you can't handle it.
But we survive every year, don't we?
I don't think so. I think you die a little bit inside.
Meh.
I never used to be like that. Shut up.
That's a lie.
I blame it on the Army. They fucked me up.
I blame it on my thyroid. It fucked me up. Yep. Okay, see, we have our excuses. Let us have our excuses.
I opened one little window in the house. You cry.
So
okay, you say this, and all I'm thinking about is looking at Robert.
We also have Mount Baker Presbyterian Church coming. Why? Why would a church be coming? Because it's the only church in this community that actually does anything for the community. And
wow.
Okay.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Really?
It actually is.
No.
What?
That's not true.
No.
Okay.
100%.
What other one?
I don't know the fucking names of them.
Community Bible.
That's it. I think.
So, Community Bible, every once in a while, once a year, they'll throw the back to school thing.
They also throw money at things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And two of the other churches do the same thing. He does shit that, Presbyterian Church, not just Kevin, but Kevin, I'm going to say it, Kevin, does stuff that he gets his hands dirty. These guys,
they just throw them. Okay, they throw them.
But not all of them have the fucking time to do that. Friend, I know one of the churches, the pastor actually has a full-time fucking job because his church can't afford to pay him.
That's community Bible.
There's a number of places around here that are like that.
Yeah. So they toss money.
If they
to
toss
different
money,
programs.
that's fine. I get that. You don't see it.
Well, we do though.
Huh?
We do.
Do you?
Because they toss money to the football team and all the other teams in high schools.
They support the kids.
Yes.
Not only that, but okay. So, the Presbyterian Church does do a really good job with their cold weather shelters.
Well, they also have a drug rehab program.
And different things like that. I do know that the one in Lyman does help a lot during the floods and the different things like that. So
that's Lyman Hamilton.
Yeah.
I'm only talking concrete.
Okay.
The one up in Marble Mountain now
does a lot of that.
They do
outreach
a lot
as well.
of great shit.
Yeah.
I'm only talking the concrete churches. And yes, they have the cold weather shelter in the wintertime when the temperatures. So in Mount Vernon, the temperatures have to drop to 32, I think it is.
Okay, I'm going to start this by saying this is not what Eric meant.
What?
I love really making fun of you.
What?
For shit you say, because sometimes it comes out wrong. We are concrete and upriver community 90% of the time, except for if there's a disaster, fuck the rest of them, just concrete.
Oh, no, I track all of them. I do track all of them. Except that Marble Mount kind of got stuck.
But it's just the way you said that.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
I'm talking
really
all
enjoy
over,
these
not
things.
just, but you guys admit. Oh, so you're going to like this part. Concrete School District has its own disaster response person.
Good.
Who?
Who is it?
I really want to know who.
Kristen something.
Oh. I don't know that person.
I don't know.
She's going to be there.
It's hard to make fun of people
She's
if they don't know.
No, I just found out about her. She's part of the Concrete Coalition.
You just
Nice.
found out about her?
Yeah, like yesterday.
We've been doing this shit for 3 fucking years and the school hasn't said shit.
No, well, you know, and we were just talking about that today. It's kind of cool that finally the school districts, well, hey, you know, they have a school threat and the parents don't find out about it until the next morning.
I'm okay with that.
In the past.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah?
Well, so
Why?
far, because all of our school threats have been kids saying something in fucking passing that they had to lock down the school for, Fran, they are doing it on a perception basis. If their perception of it is that it's not going, they put the school on lockdown, yes. The kids are safe then. They kept our kids safe.
So I will say one thing about the lockdown procedures for any school. Okay? So I believe that there's a time and a place that definitely parents need to be informed that something is happening. Okay?
Right.
But I don't believe it's during the time that the action is actually happening. Because
absolutely,
there has been times where they let out something way too soon, and then you had a whole bunch of parents show up, and it just made it worse.
They're getting away.
Because they would get in the way, they would stop people to ask about their kids, they would...
And not to mention, some of them will become a threat themselves.
That is a case-by-case basis, because in Texas, the last time, it kind of made it better.
It did, but I'm just...
Yeah,
Because
like...
the cops weren't doing anything. If the parents hadn't helped, they got right in the middle of it.
No, that wasn't a parent that actually... that was a border patrol.
And he was a parent.
Was he?
That's why he was there, yeah.
He actually stopped at a gas station and borrowed a gun from
the barber. He was at the barber.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he borrowed the barber shotgun.
So I will say, though, that usually when you get a bunch of people in panic mode...
Oh, no, I'm not,
okay,
I'm not talking about
saying,
alerting the parents during the event, at least after the event. Hey, this happened. Your kids are fine.
Right.
Obviously. Because I'd rather hear from the school to have your kid coming home going, yeah, there was a shooter today, or there was this today. We got locked down. We don't know why.
But that's the thing. If they don't know why, that's perfect. Friend, the last 2 lockdowns have been for absolutely stupid fucking reasons. Friend, a kid singing a song should not be a reason to lock down a school.
No.
Friend, doesn't matter what the
Did
lyrics
they hear
are.
the lyrics or something?
But when you hear him singing it,
right,
that should be your fucking notice of, hey, maybe this isn't what it is. Maybe we should think about it before we do anything.
Yeah, but see, the problem... Okay, so the problem that I have with any of this kind of stuff today, and I'm not just talking schools, I'm talking in general, is that people take so much out of context.
Oh, yeah.
That a person could be saying something in... Like Cole was saying, something as simple as singing, like, their favorite song, and it happens to say something about...
shooting
a gun, or it happens to say something that has something to do with some kind of suicidal something in the song. Okay? We cannot judge everything about that person based on the lyric of a song that they didn't even write. Like, they're just singing whatever they heard, you know? So
okay, but you realize that, I'm going to interrupt for a second, but you realize that on one hand I agree, on another hand I disagree, because I've been at both sides of this.
Mm-hmm.
And my kid is 31 now, so it's kind of a mute point, but yet the point being is that on one hand they're protecting the kids, and yet on another hand they're protecting their legal asses.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It really boils down to, I mean, yeah, they're doing right for the kids, but in the grand scheme of things, they're also making sure their legal asses are covered. That's the one thing that I learned about schools when I got involved with, and I'm literally being told not to say what it was, but anyway, I got involved with a specific certain type of group. It wasn't a PTA, but a specific type of group regarding parents. Regarding school board, it was really interesting, and I learned a great deal. Now, also, I learned a great deal when I was extremely involved in my church, and the legal ramifications of different aspects of things. I had no idea how significantly both schools and churches have hardcore legal aspects.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, it's really serious shit, and it blew me out of the, no pun intended, but it blew me out of the water, because I was like, whoa, this is hardcore. This is hardcore. And I understood it. I saw both sides of it. But as the parent of a child at that time, I was extremely frustrated by a number of factors.
Yeah, but
so I get where you're coming from, Kayla.
The problem is most of them are factors of our own cause, because they shouldn't have to cover their asses.
Not
that
as much.
Be a fucking requirement.
Not as much as they have.
The only reason it is because this country is absolutely fucking sue happy. And everyone wants to sue everyone else.
Has been for years though.
Yeah.
It's not new.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
That's not new.
But
yeah.
neither are the shootings anymore.
Nope.
Oh
no, they're shootings daily.
But they're 30 years old almost, right? That's the thing. None of it's new, but it's gotta fucking change. The thing is, they gotta keep covering their asses, because if not, they
wouldn't have a school to go to.
We're not gonna have a school for them to go to.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yep.
And
I mean, okay, so this is the thing, is that nobody really looks at these aspects of, like, any kind of management of anything.
Well, there's a lot of politics.
Is that there is so many politics that go into all of it. There is also so many different things and different levels that you have to look at, as far as health department, as far as the ADA accessibility. There's there are so many things that go into it, and so many little tiny things that could end up becoming the reason that we don't have that place anymore.
I don't think we need to be notified that there was a lockdown. No. I think we need to be notified if a lockdown didn't work. If something happened where they fucked up during a lockdown, then we need to be notified. Just going into a lockdown, they kept our kids safe. For whatever reason it was.
Okay.
And not only that, but I mean,
but
on the other...
you need to identify the fuck up without getting a kid killed. Mm-hmm. Or
but that's why
killed.
That's the thing. Half of these lockdowns that they're throwing our kids into, nothing happened.
I think
they're just not telling the kids that they're going on a lockdown. Because they do that now.
Yeah, some of them are
Cedar Woolley
drills.
and Concrete both do that. They have at least 4 times a year, just like a fire drill. They throw our kids into a lockdown and don't tell them why. Mm-hmm. And then the rumors start, which sucks, but... Friend,
well, not only that, but you also got to look at the other end of it. So if the lockdown was because of another child at the school, or because of another parent or something of that nature, you also can't let out personal information on what's happening with that person either. So then it's like this giant rumor mill that starts with like, oh yeah, Billy brought a gun or something like that, but it ends up being a goddamn Nerf gun and this and that. So now everybody's scared of Billy when there's no reason for them to have been.
We couldn't even get through quarantine without a fucking lockdown. Think of that kid in, I think it was Missouri. Friend, his Zoom class got shut off because he had a BB gun in his room.
Oh, good
behind
God.
him.
Yeah.
Like, and they sent the cops to his house because he brought one to class.
On a Zoom.
Yeah. But it was sitting against the wall behind him.
That's taking shit.
But is it the... Okay, so that's the problem with today, is that you never know what's too far and what isn't far enough until you figure out the just medium of everything.
I think that if we just take all the kids and I can't remember the movie, but there was a movie where they just filled an entire room with Jell-O.
Lord of the Flies.
Like all of a sudden, friend, that's our new lockdown. Fill the entire room with Jell-O so no one can move.
Okay.
That's super weird. That reminds me of some really crazy shit.
Okay.
So let's move off the Jell-O here. Where are we going?
Wow, Kayla. It's mirrors, moths, and Jell-O now.
We don't need to know about the pub circuit tours that you used to be in.
Oh, but you know you want to.
It's a Jell-O. It became a Jell-O escape room.
No, it's the Jell-O dream. It's always the Jell-O dream. Okay, so I'm gonna be stupid here for just a second. So I've had this reoccurring dream since I was like really little that has Jell-O involved in it. Okay, and it's me standing on a diving board over like an Olympic-sized pool, and then I go to jump into the pool, and the pool turns into Jell-O, and I float down into the middle of the pool, and I'm a piece of fruit. And then I like decay away into nothing and turn into a fruit fly. And I pop out of the Jell-O and I fly around. Okay? And this, like, I've had that dream like once a month easy, at least, from the time I was like 8 years old.
You got PSE coming this weekend, right?
Huh? Yeah.
Just let it go.
I know. Sorry. I'm just giving my Jell-O dream there.
Aliens have weird dreams. I don't know. Fred, you have PSE coming, right?
Yeah. PSE will be there.
You might want to get them to explain what their fucking damn sirens are saying, because no one can understand that shit.
That's going to be brought up along with their evacuation route.
And maybe turn up the volume in some areas, because now you can't hear it in the Cape at all. Friend.
Oh, I'm going to be asking about
Which
the
doesn't
damn
actually bother me.
Huh?
Which doesn't bother me, because by the time that thing goes off, I'm already dead.
Well,
I'm not going to hear it under the water.
The dam breaks. We're not going to have power all of a sudden.
Those things will.
Will it?
Yeah, they're all separated by a generator.
Okay.
And that generator is not on the bottom of the mountains.
So
it's up top.
Okay.
Now up here, up in Concrete, we have a variety of different sirens.
Yeah,
for different
nobody
things.
gets told about them until all of a sudden they go off.
we have a lot of
I
new.
get a very good.
That's what I said. We have a lot of new people that come into the area.
Right.
So we have a lot of new families, new people that are cycling through, and every single time one of the volunteer sirens goes off, you have somebody that goes, "Oh my God, are we in the middle of
Right.
like what should I be doing?"
Well,
So
the
I
first
think-
time Ashley heard it, for example, it sounds like a tornado siren in the south.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
And
It does.
she freaked out. Mm-hmm. Because she hears that siren, that means get your ass into the bunker.
So I don't know. Maybe it's something we got to talk to the real estate people about that sell the properties here. But it should be brought
No,
up
they
to a
need to
person before they end up having a panic attack and like
Right.
freaking out and throwing their kids in a tub because they have no idea what the sirens are for.
Have you seen most of the kids at our schools? Maybe they need to throw them in a tub a few more times.
So I think that would be a good idea. I also think, and I'm going to be talking to Julie from Emergency Management about this, but we need to have some kind of, disaster preparedness section besides the East County Resource Center, which is great, but you come to the community. You know, I guess I'm too military, but we go to a new base, we're given a welcome packet that has all the resources, has housing options if you don't want to live on base. It has emergency management.
Bingo.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking.
You know, you move into a community, and you can even run this through the Chamber of Commerce. Here's a welcome packet, and you have a disaster. So Jason's making an updated disaster preparedness newspaper like he had before. He's updated it. So, you know, you move to a community, you're not always going to go to all the different buildings in the community, like the community, the concrete
Right.
community center, because that's usually closed. It's open from like noon or 11 a.m. to 2 for lunch for the disabled and elderly and homeless. And then it's closed. That building is always locked up and closed unless it's being used for an event or, you know, something like that.
Or at least even just like a PSA board at like the local park.
That would work.
Say billboard of some kind.
Yeah.
That would work.
That says, you know, this is what this is, you know, like just a bullet point. Hey, welcome.
Right. Because, Cole,
I think
If
everybody
these
should just have
noises trigger you, leave.
everyone should just get a Terry.
a what?
I have a Terry.
A Terry.
Terry Coggins Jr. tells me everything when it comes to those because he gets notified immediately of what
Right.
to do. And so, like at the football game last weekend, right before we started, he heard the siren and immediately got the call. He was the only one that responded, so he went out there. It took him 5 minutes. It wasn't that big of a deal
Right.
for him. But that siren can mean anything. It could be a car accident. He might not have been back for 2 hours.
Right.
And it was just a guy drying his clothes underneath the bridge. So Terry went out there, sprayed it with water, so the guy had to dry him again. But told him there's a laundromat down the street for him. But yeah, he lit a fire under the bridge
Right.
for him,
During the burn ban.
which legally was allowed. I'm gonna say that because no, it was a modified bird mat at that point. It was Friday
Oh,
night.
okay, okay.
But he was in town limits by about 5 feet. For
Yeah, and that's what people need to understand. When we're in a burn ban or a modified burn ban, that doesn't always mean everywhere. That's for
still has to be an approved fire pit too.
Yeah.
Huh?
Still has to be an approved fire pit too.
Right, but that's for unincorporated Skagit County. So every town, like Concrete, has a complete burn ban unless you get approved by the fire chief of Concrete Fire Department.
Right.
Because somebody said it was a fire marshal. No, fire marshal don't give a shit
Well,
about Concrete.
that's another
They have to
thing
come up here and give a ticket.
I noticed about a lot of people up here is they're not really sure where the city limits are. So that would be probably another thing that would be great.
And I
like,
get that.
hey,
Yeah,
from here to
I thought it
here.
was Red Apple.
Huh?
I thought it was Red Apple. When
Nope,
we first
that's
moved here.
Grassmere.
Yeah, I know. Friend, there's nothing to say that because it does say welcome to concrete there.
Right.
And
So yeah, we originally, when we moved up, before we really knew anybody around here or anything, we figured from Red Apple to probably about a mile off the other side. But we were very wrong about those city
I
limits.
think the limit is Concrete Sock Valley Road.
But on this side of Concrete Sock Valley Road, not on... Yeah.
Right.
So, but knowing those limits is actually a good thing, too, because your house could be in them and you don't even know it. Or your house could be just outside of them, so now you're in unincorporated, so you don't follow the rules of this.
Technically, if I was to do the disaster fair in another part, I would have to go to the town of Concrete and get permission. Because the Concrete Community Center is a county building, I don't have to.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
See, there's all those little tiny loopholes and little tiny things that, coming from the outside and not being a very active member, you don't know these things.
But
these things are not common knowledge for most people.
Going by, so for listeners who don't know what we're talking about, going by, we run the Concrete Washington and Upriver group. It is a community group on Facebook, and we have 8,600 members now. And going by the numbers we see a week,
Bravo.
So, going by the numbers we see, I would say a week we probably have about 20 families, maybe. A week?
Move in?
Huh?
That like move up here?
Yeah.
12.
12.
Our average is 12.
10 to 12.
Okay.
I'm going by our group.
Right.
We have 12 new members a week now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But none of them have the same last names. So.
Yeah.
But we have new people moving out of the city and up to the mountains, where they literally know fuck all. Some of them do, but you have a lot of new people that don't know shit about moving up here. So we get a foot of snow up here, and the power goes out. So if the power goes out during the summer, we can go out.
Barbecue,
not
whatever.
Overly cold.
Yeah.
Kick the generator on, maybe. But you're going to go to sleep in comfort. Now, you have a foot to a foot and a half of snow, and you're snowed in, and the power goes out. That could become catastrophic. It could.
It could.
Why?
Okay, if you're new, you don't know you have to get a four-wheel drive.
Everyone that moves here gets a family pet, do they not?
Huh?
Everyone that moves here gets a family pet, do they not?
Oh, good
Really?
God. You're going to say cuddle up with the dog?
No, kill it. Fucking kill it. Friend, there. You got food for 4 days. You're good. Friend, you don't have to leave. Start a fire in the backyard. Friend, done.
No.
Friend, learn how to be a Canadian.
Oh my God.
We eat our family pets when we have to.
So what a
Fuck
lot of
them
people
bears.
don't get,
thanks.
if you live in, outside the town and you have a well, and your well freezes because you don't know to put a light in the well pump house,
Yeah.
for example,
Add gas. Light it.
burn the house down. Dang, then you got
You
heat.
do it at the well pump. Not,
Okay.
Not at the house.
So this is a common thing that I see, and not just up here, but during the winter in general. Okay? Please do not bring anything that burns propane into your house,
No, that's
and
covered.
close all the windows.
Well,
Okay, every year I see something about a whole family passing away because they gave themselves carbon monoxide
Yeah,
poisoning.
let's fix that.
No, absolutely.
Do your research. Don't just follow that blindly either.
Yeah.
There are propane safe products
Right.
that you can bring into your home to heat your home.
But you know what?
Yes.
Here's what I've noticed. People are too lazy to research.
Yeah.
They go by the first thing they see posted somewhere, and they believe it automatically.
But if you do your research, there are items like the Mr. Buddies. They now make one that is actually perfectly safe for a home that runs off propane.
Right.
It's going to cost you through the fucking roof. You may as well just buy an industrial size heater that runs off kerosene, or coal.
Or get a monoxide detector so you know when the monoxide levels are going up.
Yeah, everybody
they're
should have
cheap.
one of those in their
Have you
house
seen
along
the
with
price of those
their...
green balls now of propane?
No.
The little
They're like
baby
$20
bottles.
almost a bottle
Oh, damn.
for the little green ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're fucking expensive. It's stupid. Friend, June bought 3 of them and almost died.
But yeah, like, just know what you can and cannot do. And it takes 10 minutes of research to figure out what
Right.
is safe and what isn't safe as far as that kind of stuff is concerned.
And Nikki, I know you weren't happy what I said about the pets. Don't worry, I don't discriminate. If you don't have a pet, eat the kids. Fuck it. Like, let's go. This is survival. You don't have kids? You probably got a wife or a girlfriend.
Oh my god.
So you're
She doesn't
endorsing-
need both arms.
And just make sure you throw the body parts that you don't eat outside, because you always want to share with Bigfoot.
God.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to hide the body afterwards, you call it an anonymous tip. The cops will dig the hole for you, and they'll never look there again.
Okay.
Fucking
So-
hell, dude.
Oh.
That's terrible, but something I've never actually thought about.
It's terrible, but smart.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but we have 1.5 feet of snow. They're probably not going to come up anyway for a while.
Now, the
Yeah,
other...
but once it floods, you're fucked.
No, put the
Oh my
body
God.
in
The
the
body
river.
just floats away.
Hey, okay, so the other thing that we get a lot of up here, and in the Pacific Northwest in general,
Hippies.
okay.
Yeah.
No, we get some pretty strong winds,
Yep.
Yes.
and
Oh my god, yes.
a big thing that people never really think about in the strong winds is falling trees.
Yep.
Yeah.
When the ground gets saturated, especially that first huge rain
No, not
after
just falling
summertime.
trees. But when the ground gets saturated, you got a landslide risk too.
Yes.
Yes.
But when that ground gets saturated for the first time, like after summertime, and we get that first big windstorm that comes through,
Right?
know that you live in a forest. Know that trees will fall.
And they fall on
Yeah.
South Skagit all the time.
Yes. And know that during if there's an earthquake or if there's something that you're trying to get away from, there's always the potential of a fallen tree
Yep.
on the roads on the way out as
Yep.
well.
So carry a chainsaw on the back of your
Didn't
car.
answer the question, though.
What?
If no one's around to hear it, though, does it make a sound?
Yes. Yes, it does.
How do you know?
I'm done
The owls
with this.
told me.
And
Okay.
if you take
The owls told me.
the left that's behind it,
The owls.
well, you end up in that
Yeah.
town called
Right? And are we all living in a computer simulation and one of these days will be unplugged and life will be over as we know it?
And birds aren't real.
I can actually prove we are not living in a computer simulation.
Alright, let's hear this, Stephen Hawking.
Name a computer that has ever worked this well.
That's why we have deja vu?
No. I'm talking full system meltdown. Like, come on. If we were living in a computer simulation,
Yeah.
we would be updated a lot fucking more, would we not, Nikki?
Hey, all I'm saying is that I'm assuming that the dinosaurs were roaming around going, hey, guess what? This is cool. I like this. And then all of a sudden it's like, update. Boom.
Look,
I have hieroglyphic proof that the dinosaurs were abducted by the aliens.
Okay.
hieroglyphic proof?
Yeah.
Where?
Okay.
I will show everyone in a couple months.
Okay.
We're in.
Okay. Cool. I can't wait for your proof of alien abduction by dinosaurs or whatever.
That was totally the wrong way around.
Oh,
What
dinosaur
has the
abduction.
ability to
Dinosaur
abduct an alien?
abduction. Hey, we don't know what they were capable of.
Not much. They couldn't even reach their fucking toes.
Okay, so moving along, P Flag is our last
Vendor.
agency organization that's going to be at the disaster fair. P-Flag is Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. And I get asked, why would be there? Why are they there? Well, from an emergency management perspective, LGBT is one of the minority communities that gets impacted in a different way when it comes to the needs and response during disaster. So there's minority groups. P-Flag, well, LGBT would be one. You've got the homeless. You've got the drug addicted. You've got cultural communities, which we don't have so much up here. But we do have a disabled disability community, which would be the one off Cedar Street. It's nothing. It's like an apartment complex, and that is specifically for elderly and disabled. And it's, I think, a low income subsidiary to keep them where medical people can go check on them and whatnot. So when the power outage hit a few years ago, we actually went and checked on them and made sure they had water and whatnot.
Or started their generator.
Huh?
Or started their generator for
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Because what a lot of people don't understand, so for this event, I did try to get a generator guy to come up and do a generator 101 class. I'm probably going to have to do that at another time, because I couldn't get one up here on that day. Not saying there isn't one up here, but he couldn't make it Saturday. So I could get him another date.
But if you are looking for someone to work on your generator, I know a lot of people don't like supporting the major conglomerations, but I would still go with Camping World. Mm-hmm. They do hire local mechanics that do a great job.
Right.
So that's who I would go to.
I don't see them as so much a big conglomerate, though.
Oh, they are.
Are they?
They're huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
I think it's Six Nations.
Huh?
That they're in. They're in Six Nations. Like they
okay.
are that big.
Okay.
They're in so. But they're still fairly cheap.
Mm-hmm.
They don't screw you around as much with that kind of stuff because they just want to get it done, just like you.
Right.
Sometimes you do have to wait a little bit longer because they are one of the busiest ones.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you're looking for some, what the fuck is that? I'm scared now. Most of the stuff on a generator you can really do yourself. You just have to do your preventative maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know how, look up a YouTube video. There's a lot of stuff in this world that I haven't known how to do, where I just look up a YouTube video quick, I usually have to scroll through about 5 of them, and I find the right one.
Right.
And that is describing exactly what I'm doing. And all of a sudden, I'm doing it right away.
Mm-hmm. So, for our locals, that is the list of...
Robert, that was so fucking horrible. Honestly, if we were playing D&D, I would take a D20 of psychic fucking damage. Holy shit! Really?
So along with
Run, Janny, run!
so along with the booths that are going to be up, we also have presentations. So at noon will be our welcome and whatnot. 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock, the USGS will be talking volcanoes. 2 o'clock, we have pandemics from the health department. And 3 o'clock, we have a master canner up here that's going to be doing canning safety. So I try to get generator and I try to get chainsaw. So I like to have a chainsaw safety class. Just because I do encourage people to learn about chainsaws and how to operate them safely. And keep a small one in your car. Because like Cole said, or like Kayla said actually, we do have a lot of trees that come down and block the road, block the highway. And if you have a small chainsaw, you can just cut it enough to get the tree out of the road and keep on going. And a lot of people up here do have chainsaws. Because honestly, it takes the county 2 hours, if not the next day, to actually bring their people up to get the tree out of the way. It's a lot faster if you have your own chainsaw and just knock it out.
although there have been a few in some of our windstorms that we have watched come down, and our immediate thought was, yeah, no one's taking that down but the city, the county.
Well, if they're that big,
they are.
Yeah, we have some old growths that come down every once in a while that you're like, ha,
and they're probably 50 inches round.
Oh, you ain't gonna tow them out of the way either.
No, but
yeah,
and that's one thing you need to know. If it's too big for your vehicle, realize it.
Yeah, definitely.
If you can't tow it out of the way, go 20 feet behind you, throw a road flare, friend, and go home. There's nothing else you can do.
Or take a different route.
Yep. Friend,
but we have a hot dog cart that's also supposed to be there. So
I'm showing up for sure.
So ideally, you'll be able to, enjoy the booths, catch a presentation, pick up a bunch of pamphlets. I actually have. So my booth is the East County Disaster Fair booth, and I actually have information from the Washington State Emergency Management, Poison Control, the National Sexual Violence. It's basically information from a domestic violence organization. I want to get some human trafficking information up there.
DIY or DIY or preventative?
Preventative.
Okay, just making sure.
What to watch for with the trafficker? So you can steal
awesome.
So you can steal their money. And save the person. I mean, you want to do that too. So I have magnets that you can put on your fridge to actually to teach your kids.
Is Dill's coming?
No.
No.
So we don't have any law enforcement.
Is he giving you his cards though? The trading cards?
Oh, I've still got some.
Friend.
I also have disaster playing cards.
Yeah.
That I'll be passing out.
I have 8 of those decks because we play a little different.
So there are 2 focuses I was doing for this year. One was pet preparedness, and that's why the Humane Society was invited because they have a large program for pet preparedness. The other is kids. The health department is actually going to do a little class for kids on what to put in your go bag.
Good.
What do you pack? I have some disaster crosswords I'm going to have printed out. There's magnets to put on your fridge for your kids that teach them the process for if there's an earthquake, what do you do?
Bring your favorite stuffy.
That too. But when you're talking preparedness with kids, you're always thinking of extra clothes and water and but they need games. Kids' attention spans are and they're panicked. If you as their parent is going to freak out and panic, how do you think your kid's going to react?
Well, in those times too, a really good thing to have for any kid is either blank paper and like crayons.
Yep.
Or a coloring book and colored pencils or crayons or something like that. Yeah.
Spiral bound.
Right.
And that's why I think is great about these disaster cards is it's an actual playing deck, but it's got disaster tips on each one of them.
Nice.
So I think I have about 30 decks still. And I honestly hope we have enough, so many people show up that all our stuff's given out. In the past we've had, between 50 and 100?
Yeah.
I'd like to see the entire community show up.
Well,
just to get the information out.
I'm not part of the community anymore, but I will be up there.
Good.
I got about 12 families that aren't going to make it. But.
Oh, yeah, you're doing football.
Yeah, we're going to be over at the game. By the way to go, boys, on the last game. That was insane.
Yes.
I am so freaking proud of these boys. They won 68-14 last weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now we're looking.
Yeah.
We're hoping for a shutout this weekend. This coming up. So
Nice.
Who we playing?
Good for them.
we are playing Winlock.
Winlock is this one. Yeah.
It's a 4-hour fucking drive.
Yeah, it's away, so yeah. Yeah, and usually Cole and Kayla are at Disaster Fair, but
Due to the boys' football
due to
game,
football, yeah.
we will not be this year.
I do have some volunteers that are coming out to help out because the Concrete Coalition can't make it, but the leader of the Concrete Coalition is going to come out just to pass out water and help out where she can.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be fun. Again, Saturday the 9th, this Saturday from noon to 7. Come out, especially if you're local. And even if you're not local, if you're in Washington State and you can come up to East Skagit County, come up. Because you still...
it's going to be a good event, guys. It's going to be a good
doesn't matter
event.
where in Washington you are, you still have 5 volcanoes.
That's right.
You still have flooding. You still have landslides.
That's
You still have
right.
heavy snow, winter storms.
Yep.
So disasters are disasters. The
Absolutely.
response is always the same. Unless, of course, it's a terrorist activity. But that's not what we're talking about tonight. Terrorist activity is a whole other show.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
go back
you can
to.
have flooding even in a residential neighborhood in a city. I mean,
Yep.
I live in an area that is known for it's a very specific area, and it literally has a dip in the terrain, and it is known for flooding. I mean, it's a big deal. So you gotta know, you gotta learn about these things. You gotta inform yourself. You can't go into these things blindly.
Right.
Yeah.
You do, you pay the consequences big time.
Absolutely.
There's a woman who died because of that very situation. She moved into a house in North Seattle, I believe it was. This was a number of years ago, about 5, 6, 7 years ago. And she didn't know that the area flooded. And she was a renter. And during a torrential rainstorm, she went into her basement to save her belongings.
Yeah.
And she got caught in a flood that literally came down her hill and engulfed the entire basement. I mean, she drowned a horrible death.
Well,
Right.
that's where it comes back to welcome packets. I mean, if
Yes.
it's flooded there before, the community knew it flooded. And if she wasn't aware of that threat, that's why, honestly, threat assessments, anytime you move, are important. Know what
Yes.
know what happens in your community. Talk to your neighbors. But I mean, if they moved there yesterday, they ain't gonna know any more than you. But talk to your neighbors. Go to your chamber of commerce. Go to your town hall. What did you want to go back to?
I want to go back to this because I don't think I got 3 to you Washingtonians here.
What?
Friend, if you corked every...
Oh, goddamn.
Friend, not only would it be a safety prevention, but it's also a fun competition for the whole state. Who has the biggest cork? Right? Like, you guys can compete.
Okay.
This
And
would
it's all
work.
going to push the pressure over to Yellowstone anyway.
Yeah. So, nothing to worry about on both sides. Or down to California. They were already on fire. Who cares?
Oh my God. Stop.
What?
Well, they're on fire and hurricanes.
See? Oh, shit.
What?
Hurricane Lee is actually moving towards us.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's moving northwest. Oh, no, northwest. So, no.
Okay.
Well, we're good.
What?
But yeah, definitely, it's going to be a great event. Anybody who can make it, come down, check it out.
Yep. I have 2 business cards to pass out. Homeland Security Consultant. I am a Homeland Security Consultant for certain individuals in the county and law enforcement. So.
All right.
It is. I wouldn't say fun. It's time consuming. So I have 3,000 videos I need to go through. On everything from human trafficking. Well, you know what? And I know we're cutting down on time, but if there's an issue, I like to look it up and educate my damn self. So furries came up in the group.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what exactly is a furry? And why the fuck is it an issue? If it doesn't...
It's not.
I know it's not. It's just a group of people. I compare it to the response to the LGBT. If it doesn't impact you, if it doesn't affect you, then who gives a fuck? No, there aren't kitty litter boxes in the high school, people.
No, specify that, Eric, because people are that's gonna start a rumor in concrete. Fred, that was about Cedar Woolley School District, and it was the middle school.
No, so it's actually in YouTube videos. It's other states too. The people started rumors about fucking kitty litter boxes in goddamn schools.
Yeah.
It's not just Cedar. It's a bigger problem. It's a bigger rumor
some
than
schools
just
probably
Cedar.
do.
Huh?
Some schools probably do, but that's because they actually have cats in the school.
Right. It's not for the furries. So what are furries? Furries are, most of the time, it's for cosplay. What?
There is a definite difference between a furry and a cosplayer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Absolutely.
there is a big difference.
Well, there's a sexual component with cosplay.
With
furries.
No, with
furries, there's a
Not with
sexual
all of
component.
Friend, not with cosplay at all most of the time.
Not with
Okay.
cosplay.
Friend, that is dressing up as your favorite character from any fantasy item
Okay.
for
Yep.
fun. That's all it is. The
Right.
fact that it's sexualized is done by sick males, really.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Good job, Kayla. Right?
Sorry.
But the point is, the point is generally furries are not an issue. They're not going to brainwash your kids. They're not going to fucking. There's not a kitty litter box in the. Come on.
Well, okay, you can't guarantee they're not going to brainwash your kids. Friend, they might be into that. Might be just. And that has nothing to do with them being a furry. That's just how they are.
Well, the interesting point with that whole post is it had nothing to do with furries. It had to do with somebody fucking growling at someone.
Hissing.
Hissing. Yeah.
Friend. But you know what? We owe a lot to the furry community.
Huh. Oh,
They
helped
saved the
pandas
fucking
out.
pandas.
Yeah, they did.
Friend, next they got to save the rhinos. It's going to be a little bit more difficult, but
Which ones? The Republicans or the animals?
the white rhino.
Oh, okay.
They're going extinct now. Friend, so they need to make porn for them.
Oh my
Right.
god. Okay.
What?
Nothing.
Well, they taught the panda how to fuck.
Yeah.
I know, but okay. I gotta be honest. Right now, my brain just hurts.
That was the sexual component of it. But that's rare.
They were asked to.
Right?
Friend.
Okay, I'm just gonna put this like 100% out there. What you do in the confines of your own house, as long as it's not super illegal, I do not care.
Well,
you
that
be you,
needs to-
you do you.
To be fair, half of them weren't doing it there. They were doing it in the zoo.
Yeah.
When it's closed.
No. Friend, but no, like, people, come on. If it doesn't affect you in any way, shape, or form, other than maybe offend you, fuck your feelings. Nobody gives a fuck.
Let
But-
people be people and let them do what they do. It's not going to hurt you
Okay,
in
well-
any way.
They don't want to be people.
Well, you know what I mean.
You are not of interest to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Rick. Haters gonna hate. And they can get the fuck over it.
Well, you know, this is the way that I've looked at like everything, from political views all the way down to like sexual fetishes to any of that kind of stuff. If it is not directly affecting you and your own well-being, who cares what your neighbor does? Who cares what somebody in a different town, somewhere in a different state, whatever? Who cares? cares?
I wouldn't associate that with political views because I would have really preferred it if Hitler's neighbor would have just taken him out in the beginning. Just saying.
Kayla's not agreeing.
Well, probably.
Oh
not.
my God!
But no, like this is the whole sex, creed, religion, friend, left or right-handed bullshit. Friggin', if it doesn't affect you, screw off. Friggin'.
If it's not physically harming someone to the point where it will affect what you know what I'm saying. If it is not affecting you, if it is not part of your life, if it's not somebody coming to you asking for help to get out of a situation, if it does not have anything to do with you, leave it be.
Yep. Absolutely.
Now, obviously, there are certain situations where you should get involved. Okay, anything to do with harming of a child that you oversee or overhear. Obviously, that's why places like CPS and that exist. Okay, same thing with adult protective services. If you see some horrible mistreatment of somebody or something,
When it comes to mistreatment,
there's a time and a place to get involved in that kind of stuff. But if it's
you
just
see
a
someone putting diesel
differentiation,
in a gas engine because it was cheaper that day. What?
no, if it's just a differentiation
No,
of opinion, though, let people do what they're
it's
going
not
to
their
do.
car.
That's their life. It's not yours.
What if they're borrowing the car? Friend.
what are we talking about next week?
You know what? I want to try something. I want to do a dinosaur episode
Okay.
All right.
Dinosaurs.
and involve everything.
Were they real?
All parts of the paranormal.
Don't expect
Dinosaurs
a lot of
and-
from the T-Rexes.
Dinosaurs and Bigfoot. Dinosaurs and aliens.
Okay.
Friend.
Were dinosaurs really abducted by aliens?
Well, yeah, I told you I have evidence.
You have evidence.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that next week.
Meantime, see you Saturday.
Absolutely, guys. So that's it for us. We will be back next Wednesday at 10 p.m. Friend, thank you for joining us. Friend, I'm using the wrong mouse, so I can't shut you off. Friend. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Later.
Data transfer complete. System malfunction. Please evacuate immediately. Program terminated.
Son of a biscuit eater.